Hi everyone, hello and welcome back to our Taiji Cao practice. We're working on developing the core foundational movement patterns that are needed for our Taiji and Qigong practice. Now in this lesson, as usual, before we begin, make sure that you have done something to warm up, get your blood flowing, get your muscles, tissues loosened up to reduce the risk of injury. Then, once you've done so, begin in our starting neutral posture. Settle the breath. Begin to sink, just as we always do. Relax, release the tension, the weight, down through the floor, the center of the feet. In this lesson, we're going to take a little bit of a different approach from what we have been doing. Rather than just stepping out to hip to shoulder width, we're going to go a little farther this time, go into a little bit of a wider stance. So we're going to drop the weight through the right foot. Remember to be mindful of your hip. Don't let it jut out, stay straight up. You're going to extend out a bit farther. The principle is the same though. We set the toe down. We set the heel down. And then we settle into our stance. Now here we want to be a little wider than shoulder width. But we want to maintain the alignments, the knees over the feet. Don't be so far out that your knees are misaligned from your feet. Your knees are kind of bowing inward like this. You want to keep that expansive, strong foundation. The knees over the feet, tracking over the toes, not out, not in. Always make sure that the alignments are maintained no matter what our position might be. Whether we're in a more narrow stance or a wider stance, either way, we want to make sure that these joint alignments are still maintained so that we can have structural integrity to reduce the risk of injury and to allow the force to flow smoothly through the body, to allow both energies of our transmitting force, receiving force, and also the fluids, the tissues of the body to flow freely. So we relax just as normally, settle down, drop, lengthen, elongate the spine. Hips should naturally tuck. You can allow the hands to just rest here on the thighs. And breathe. Breathe through the belly. Take a few moments to settle. As you begin and you're new to this wider position, you might have your thighs start burning. If you stand in the position long enough, you want to relax and breathe through it. With continued practice, this will subside. As your legs become stronger and more resilient, remember, as you're beginning your practice, make sure you don't push yourself too far, only to the point of mild discomfort, then back off. Repeated, consistent practice will lead to growth. There's no need to push yourself too hard and risk injury. Relax and breathe. Once you feel settled, inhale. Allow the arms to float up, relaxing the shoulders and the elbows as usual, lifting up on the breath. Exhale. Settle the energy down. Again, inhale. Roll and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now, inhale, bring the arms up. This time, we're going to roll the arms over just like we're holding a ball. This is often called hold the ball or embrace the moon. Whatever analogy you want to use, just think of a sphere of energy between your hands. Now, from this position, we're going to start utilizing this wider stance to practice some weight shifting and movement side to side. So here, I'm going to sink by just relaxing the inguinal area in the right leg, the hip joint here. I'm going to relax and just sink the weight into the right leg. Remember, don't let the hip come out. Keep a straight alignment. Just shifting and relaxing over, relaxing the weight into the leg, not allowing it to bow out. Sink. Make sure the spine is remaining straight. Don't lean over or lean forward while you're doing this. Remain straight up. Sink over. The elbow should be about in line with the knee. Make sure you maintain these alignments. Now, as we've got the weight into the right leg, we're going to turn the ball of the left foot. Turning out about 45 degrees. Then we're going to shift, stretching up out of the right leg. We're going to go over the hill and settle the weight into the left leg here. So we're not translating straight across. We're extending up from the right to settle into the left. Just like going over a little bump in the road. Now, as we do, we're going to turn the waist toward our point of direction, going 45 degrees in the direction of the left foot. So here again. And shift the weight forward to where most of the weight is now on the left. We still have the weight bearing on the right leg, but the majority is going to be on the left. You want to have about a 60-40, 70-30 toward the left. And as we do, the palms where we were holding the ball are going to separate. We're going to roll, and the left palm is going to face out and expand forward. The right palm is going to face down, press down, like we're opening up and expanding a field of energy around the body. So in our final position, again, make sure the back is straight. We're standing straight up, we're not leaning forward. In certain styles, we will have a bit more of a forward lean, but right now we're just going to focus on developing the general movement patterns. We don't want to get into too many technical details as far as that goes. For now, just make sure you're straight up. Make sure the rear leg is straight but not locked out. Don't ever lock the knees. Keep that flexion in the knee, that expansion between the legs, so you're not allowing it to bow in or collapse. You're also not over straightening it. All right. Should feel like an expansive force going out and down, just radiating out from the body, just like you're surrounded in a bubble of energy that's expanding out in all directions. Remember, rotating from the waist, the dantian area here, extending through the legs, expanding with the breath. Make Make sure the knee is over the toes and aligned in the same direction. Now, from here, we're going to push back over the hill again, and settle back, setting back onto the right leg again. So we're just basically going to reverse what we just did. And as we do, we're going to rotate back to center from the waist. And we're going to flip the palms and go back to holding that ball again. And as we go back to center, as we rotate back to center, shifting the weight back to the right, we're going to rotate on the ball of the left foot and put it back forward again. So we're essentially coming back to center after we've completed the first part of our movement. So you see this one here is a bit more multifaceted. We're adding more bits and pieces, connecting more parts of the body, more different movement patterns, working them all in together harmoniously. So this is helping to develop the ability to get all the parts of the body moving together as one, which is very important for Tai Chi practice. So again, from our ending point, settle back to center. Again, always making sure you're upright, making sure your joint alignments are correct. Elbow to knee, knee to foot. Make sure that you're upright. Make sure the hip is straight. It's not jutting out in any direction. Now, back to center. Then we'll shift over to the left leg and do the other side. Same thing. Shift the weight over to the left, sinking into the left quad, the inguinal area. Opening up on the right heel. Extending, shifting the weight over, rotating from the waist, expanding with the palms, settling on the right leg, opening, expanding the force around the body. Here again, always make sure and notice the joint alignments, the shoulders to the hips, elbows to the knees, hands to the feet. Make sure the shoulders and elbows are relaxed and dropped. Make sure the spine is straight, elongated, so the hips are tucked, the neck is straight, the chin is tucked naturally by the elongation of the spine. And settle. Then shift back, sitting back down onto the left leg, rotating from the waist. And coming back to center. So this movement, again, is much more multifaceted than the ones we've looked at in the previous lessons. But as we've started to build upon, if you practice well in the earlier lessons, you can start being able to coordinate more different parts of the body, having more different mechanics going on simultaneously. And this is the essence of what we need to be able to do in Tai Chi practice, is to adhere to the principle, all parts move. When one part moves, all parts move. Whole body connection. Every part of the body is moving together simultaneously in specific relationships in order to maintain optimal structure and to be able to deliver and receive force and to be able to facilitate the healthy and vital flow of the tissues, the fluids, the bioelectricity and energies of the body. So once again, let's take it from the beginning. Step out, a little wider than shoulder width. Settle down. Drop the energy and breathe. Arms come up, relax. Settle. Roll the ball. Hold the ball between the arms, between the palms. Settle the weight. Sinking into the right gua. Loading the right leg. Maintain upright spine. Keep your joints aligned. Open the left foot. 45 degrees. Shift. And spread the palms apart. You'll notice this is somewhat similar to a movement we did before, where we were parting across a plane. Only in this case, we're actually sort of rolling and spiraling a ball. So if the hands aren't remaining on the same plane, we've got one rolling and going out. We've got another one rolling over and going down. The idea here is we're opening and expanding this ball instead of cutting across a plane like we've done before. So this is a different energetic principle. But it does have some similarity as far as what the appearance and the feeling that it can have. Shift, open, and settle. Always be checking your alignments. Always be checking to make sure that your open spine is extended. That you have good, strong, open pang jin in the legs. It's expansive energy. You're not collapsed. Back to center. Back to right. Roll, spiral the ball. Settle the weight to the left. Expand out. Keep the arms relaxed, expanding on the breath. Sit back onto the right. Bring the left toe in. Shift the weight, settle onto the left. Going into the left gua. Open out 45 degrees in the right heel. Spiral. And settle the weight onto the right. Settle back. Center. Back onto the right. Open, spiral out to the left. And again, as far as how wide your stance is, make sure that you're staying comfortable. If you don't have the strength in your legs or you don't have the range of motion to be able to open out widely, you can do this with the feet closer together. Do this in a more upright way, and that's fine. Whatever is comfortable for you. We want to practice this spiraling, rotating motion where we're expanding and opening out this sphere of energy from the body while shifting the weight side to side from the hip area here, this inguinal area, the gua as it's called. So if you need to stay upright, that's fine. Shift onto the right. Open the left. And release. Sit back onto the right. Back to center. Onto the left. Open the right. Shift. So however you need to do it, stay within your comfort zone. You'll gradually develop your ability as you continue the practice. So continue in this lesson, and we will see you in the next video.